Hi guys, Christy back. I am here to do my February wrap up. So quickly I wanted to share with you the 6 books that I had to do for my TBR game. And the first one was a book with pirate or ships on it, and I chose Ship of Smoke and Steel by Django Wexler. The second was a book with dragons, and I chose Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Then the third was paranormal, and I chose Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. Then the fourth role, sorry I'm looking at my list, was middle grade, and I chose Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, right? Yeah, Jessica Townsend. The fifth role was TBR Jar, and what popped out of that was Of Ice and Shadows by Audrey Colthurst. And then the sixth and final role was a series already started, and that was Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. So, besides those books, and let me say, out of those 6 books, there's only one that I didn't get finished for February, and that is Of Ice and Shadows by Audrey Colthurst, and I'm in the middle of reading it. I just didn't get to it. I fell and hit my head while I was reading it and haven't been able to look at books much or the phone. Actually, I'm starting to get a headache, but I'm going to get through this. And then, yeah, that's it out of the 6. So I'm going to finish reading this. So I'm not going to, get any punishments or anything like that, because I'm just in the middle of it and I have yet to finish it. It's a short month, so it's okay. But besides those 6 books, I also read All the Wandering Light by Heather Fawcett, which is book 2 of the Even the Darkest Stars. And then I read these 3. I read Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So those, I think I read 9 1/4 books in February, which isn't bad. Not bad. I was sick for a week with like a chest head thing, so I did nothing for that week, and then this whole head injury thing. But the one that I was planning on reading but didn't get to was The Dragon Reborn. And this is just, one of those personal goals. This is the ones that I really wanted to read one of these a month, but just circumstances happened and I wasn't able to get to it. This will be on my nightstand, and hopefully I'll get to pick it up and read it. So March's TBR is pretty hefty, so we'll see if I get to this big old book. I really want to, though. I love Robert Jordan. So let me first talk about, well, let's see. I'll start with Lies of Locke Lamora. So this was a book club pick for my book club that I'm a part of with Mikachi and Kaivox, and their channel is Kaivox Ender, and we have a book club, and every month there's a live stream, and we all kind of pick the books together. The Patreons, we probably discuss it more, but we don't have any more vote than anyone else. And I was so excited about this. I had planned on reading this in February no matter what. It's a big book. It's 529 pages, something like that. And it just wasn't really my cup of tea. So there's kind of a past and a present. And the past, what you're following this group of thieves, basically, like bandits, if you will. And they call themselves the Gentleman Bastards. But you're mostly following Locke Lamora. Lamora. And it goes back to when he was a child. And those parts, his childhood and the thing, like all of the past parts, I really, really enjoyed those. It was the present parts that just took me out of it. I don't know if it was the plot wasn't interesting enough for me, or there was so much flowery writing. It didn't bother me in the past sections, however. It was just in the present. Maybe it was more flowery in the present. I don't know. But there was something about it that would just take me out of it. And most of us kind of felt that way, I think. But it did pick up at the end. And I enjoyed the ending quite a bit. So it was about a three and a half star for me, I would say. The friend group, I really enjoyed. It was a group of guys that had been, grouped together, but they were orphans. So they didn't have a choice but to kind of be more like brothers in this group of wild thieving bandits. They were very intelligent. I did like that part, the intelligence and the cunning that came up with some of their schemes. And they were very tight-knit, and I appreciated that. I love me a good friend group. Sorry, I'm smacking my hands. But it was just those parts that completely took me out, and then I did not want to pick the book up. So, 3.5 star, although I think I'll probably continue with it. I don't have books 2 or 3, but if I saw them on, Book Outlet or something for, cheap, I would get it and I would continue. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. It's some people's absolute favorite book of all time. I think it's Murphy Napier's favorite book series. So then I read Even the Darkest Stars. I was really looking forward to that one. So I read this one pretty quickly and fell in love with it. It had just everything. And these two sisters that are fighting to get to this mountaintop, but they're apart, and there's magic, and there's even ghosts. There's witches. Witches are a big part of it. And Camden falls in love, but should she have fallen in love? We don't know. It's such a great book. I loved it so much. She has this little red fox like familiar, and I loved him. And just I don't know, it's very warm. That she has this best friend. The two of them were so close. They had kind of been together before, and I think he wanted it again, and she did not. So I was kind of sad, but they still were ride or die best friends, and I loved that. And then the theme of family was very strong in that, and the love of family and what you would do for family, whether you agree with them or not. And I personally love that. I'm not close to a good majority of my family, so I appreciated that. Because I loved it so much and I gave it a 5 star, I had to pick up the second one right away. Like, I just devoured that one, and I devoured this one. Just as good. Maybe a hair not as good. And I'll have to look at my planner, which is over there. I might have given it a 4.5 or 4.75. Although I loved it just as much. It entertained me just as much. And I can't tell you any more about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But it still follows Camden and that whole bunch, and the stuff that comes up again. So those I highly recommend. So good. Such a beautiful magic and such a beautiful atmosphere and world that was created. I loved it. Then I picked up Ship of Smoke and Steel by Django Wexler. I was really excited for this one. It's reads like it's pirates, a pirate ship and pirates and all this fun, and it's not. It bored me to tears. I had anxiety throughout the entire thing, but it was not good, y'all. Not good. I almost DNF'd this sucker. I think I might have given it a 2-star. And I don't know if I very, very rarely, I count on maybe one hand, like that kind of thing, how many times I've given a book a 2-star. I can't tell you exactly why I hated it, but, and hate's a strong word. I just didn't hate it. I just disliked it very much. If I hated it, I would have DNF'd it. But this, I can't recommend it to anybody. For me, I mean, there is a lot of magical combat, it says, but it's against like weird crustacean creatures in a bottom of a like endless pit of a ship. None of it made sense. It was all over the place. Even the characters I didn't. She in the beginning was ruthless and like she killed her boyfriend, for crying out loud. She didn't care. The only person she cared about was her sister, and her sister's life was kind of in danger. But then she gets on this ship and I don't know. She's a different person. I don't know. I don't know if love did that, or I don't know if she's capable of love, if she knows she can love, if she actually is loving. I don't know, and I don't know. I can't waste any more time on it. I'm sorry. It was just bad. Throughout the month, I was reading Rage of Dragons and loved it so much. This has a beautiful magic system. Very confusing, but really interesting. There wasn't many dragons, however. That's my complaint. And there was a lot of fighting. Like, the book should have been like Rage of Men. Like, it's a lot of fighting. Like, kind of, a lot of it was like gladiator style fighting and not even just like country against country fighting. It was just, I'm going to fight to kick your butt or fight to kill you. Like, that part got old. But I did enjoy the characters and not really related, I don't guess, but empathized with the main character and was on his side kind of thing, and wanted to see him succeed and see him overcome stuff, I guess, and make it through his rage to be happy. So 4-star. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. Then let's see. Oh, y'all, Nevermore. I loved this so much. This young girl who's got some spunk, and she is smart, and she is self-deprecating, but it's because of how she was treated her whole life. So she doubts herself, but she's spunky and she's fun, and she forms a great relationship with a guy, makes a friend for life kind of thing, and has this wonderful mentor, and lives in this kooky bed and breakfast type place, and in this beautiful town of Nevermore that has talking cats, and like big walking talking cats, like giant cats, and has all kinds of just different creatures, different animal hybrid, human hybrid type things. And it was so fun. And I have the second book right there. I want to read it so bad. I just didn't have time. And the third one comes out I think in August. But 5-star, hands down, absolutely recommend it. It's middle grade, so it's, of course, you fly through it, but it was so good. It was so cute, and I loved it. And I can't wait to read the next one. Then we have Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, and I loved book 1, Children of Blood and Bone. Loved it so much. Book 2, not so much. I'm not a giant fan of it, and I'm not sure. There was no positivity in it whatsoever. There was no break for these people. No, like, for the good guys kind of thing. There was no break, no wins at all. And I don't know, real life is tough enough. So in my books, I like to see winning. I like to see the good guy come out on top in the end. I like to see them go through stuff to get there, but this was just, it was torture reading it. I think I gave it a 3-star, and it makes me sad because I loved the first book. I do recommend, I'll recommend it because it wasn't a bad book. I was just very disappointed. It wasn't what I expected. But other people may love this. So I recommend it. Now, the one that I'm just starting, of Ice and Shadows, this is the one that the first of Fire and Stars, I absolutely loved it. It was, one princess, my light went out. Sorry, my lighting's now. One princess was sent to another kingdom to marry the prince, to unite their kingdoms, and she fell in love with the prince's sister instead of the prince. And so I can't long story short, they're going to end up together. So this is about them and their journey and what's going on, because there's lots of stuff going on, and one of them has to stay hidden because people think she's dead. Most people think she's dead in order to get her away, and the other one is kind of fighting against the enemy, or trying to help her country fight against the enemy. That's about as far as I can tell you, because I don't want to give anything away. So I'm very, very vague. But so far, I'm loving it. If I rated it now, it'd be a solid 4 at least. So that's where I'm at, people. I think that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, what am I thinking? I'm missing these 2. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Okay, you guys. I am not a romance reader. Never been like straight romance. Now, I like romance in my fantasies. Sorry, my hair's driving me nuts. But, as long as it's good and it's not insta love and has to be done right. So I don't usually read just straight romance. But this one was a group, buddy read type group. We were reading it together. It's what everybody voted on. So I ordered it and thought, I'll give it a try. Everybody I know has loved it. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. And when I got done, I was like, I need another one like this. I didn't have any other Christina Lauren, which I think I'm gonna get more of these. I might go to the library to get them, however, because you never know with romance. But loved it. 5-star, hands down. The sister-in-law and brother-in-law of the bride and groom are the only ones that don't get sick during the wedding, like the wedding party. And so the bride has won this amazing honeymoon, and she says, we're not going to be able to go. We are too sick. We have caught something from the raw fish or whatever it was. And so she said, you guys go, have fun. And they hated one another. The brother-in-law and the sister, like the sister of the bride and the brother of the groom, they hated one another. But neither one were going to give up those tickets. So they went and they had to pretend that they were the bride and groom and stay in the same room, this big honeymoon suite. And, well, one thing led to another, and it was swoon weather. It was so, so good. Who am I? This book did something to me. I mean, I can't. 5-star. Please go read it. It's so good. Well, I was like, I need another romance. I need something like that. Like, I needed more. So I picked up my Red, White, and Royal Blue that I took on the plane with me to Oregon and Washington and never picked up. And loved it so much. It's about, the son of the president of the United States and then the Prince of England. And it's hate to love. I mean, it's the hate to love trope, but it's done so well, and it has such a beautiful message, and I just loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Hands down 5-star. I don't know, has she written anything else? I think is this her first book? Somebody tell me, please. because if she has other books, I need to know about them. So 5-star. So yeah, that's 10 books, but only one of them is only a quarter of the way through. So I didn't do too bad for myself. Not bad at all. So if you read any of these and you have thoughts on any of them, if the ones I didn't like you loved, please tell me why. I want to know. And if I loved a book that you hated also, I love discussion of these things. So message me and let me know what you thought. I think I had a pretty good month of February for reading, and just need to get to Dragon Reborn now. But I hope everybody's having a great day, a great month, a great year, and message me. And I'll see you later. Ta!